Okay, and this is our dark rice, it's roses. It's dark, it's black or brown, and it's longer grains. This is a longer grain rice, the one I like most as well. This is different to the white rice because it's got the bran around it, whereas the white rice, the bran's been taken off.
And they also take something else
They
out
do.
of it.
I'll show you that on my
We've
chart.
just discovered.
But this rice is really nice if you have it with a savoury dish as well. Probably wouldn't make rice pudding with this one.
Probably not.
No.
But also, Marianne, not only is there long rice and short rice, but there's
medium as well.
we didn't have any medium
we
rice in our
didn't.
houses.
We had the short one and we had the long one.
Because I like the short one and Marianne likes the long one.
That's right, so we didn't have any medium, but there is a medium grain as well, which is pretty cool. So we'll just have a little look. First of all, we'll look at our picture of the rice plant. And we've got down here. Yep, we've got the fibrous roots down the bottom. You're so clever. And they're fibrous because there's lots of little roots coming out like that. They haven't got a big taproot like carrot, have they? So we've got the fibrous roots. We've got the long stems or stalks. We've got the leaves coming off. Then we've got these parts here.
Rice.
That's the rice. But it's called, this part here is called the head. And they're also called little spikelets. Do you remember that word?
We like that.
It reminds me of pikelets.
About spikelets.
So little spikelets there. And each one of these tiny little brown bits here are the little grains of rice. So you can imagine on one plant there's hundreds and thousands of grains.
Thousands, because each little spikelet has about 60 to 120.
It's amazing, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So way more than I've drawn there, that's for sure.
Lots and lots and lots.
But that's quite neat how rice grows on the little spikelets there. It's really cool. So that's our rice plant. Then what I've done here, this big picture here, is actually one tiny grain of rice. And I've made it much bigger, and Tillos is going to bring it over so we can have a good look at this. On the outside is what's called the husk, and we don't eat the husk. That's on the outside of the rice there. But inside the husk there's a rice bran, and on the brown or the black rice, the rice bran is left on. And then we've also got something called a rice germ. And that's in there, and the rice bran and the rice germ are very good for you, very healthy.
The rice germ has
full
all the
of nutrients. That's right, full of nutrients. So if you just have the white rice, the rice bran and the rice germ's taken out, so that doesn't have the special nutrients that the brown or black
goodies,
rice.
sometimes we call them
We
goodies.
do call it goodies, don't we, Otis?
Yes.
That's right, that's Lynda's favourite word. So if you want to eat the rice with the goodies in it, you have to have either black or brown rice.
Or just the natural.
They call it whole grain.
Yeah, whole grain.
But it obviously doesn't have the husk on,
No,
does it?
definitely
Because you
not.
can't eat the husk. But okay.
Now, I eat a husk.
Well, you probably wouldn't, because you wouldn't get the husk when you get the rice.
When it comes in the packet.
There's no husk on it. It's all been taken off.
Mm.
But you know,
Well,
we,
how?
I think they'd have a special machine. We'll have to find out.
That's a
Linda's
good
got
question.
It is a good
I'll
question.
have to have a
Lynda
look
has a really
through
good
here.
book there. It may be in the book.
I'm going to read some of it today.
Now, rice isn't always something that you use to have, you know, with your vegetables or with your meat or in a pudding.
Or sushi.
Yeah, it's not always used like that. There are other things that you can make it into. So I can show you some things I've got behind here.
Well, Marianne, lots of boys and girls and lots of mummies and daddies and grown-ups can't eat flour because they get sore tummies.
I know.
And so lots of those people have to have things made from rice, because rice doesn't actually
Instead of
hurt
wheat,
your
which has
tummy.
got gluten in it.
That's right.
So things like flour.
And gluten free.
Yes, that's right, gluten-free. Things like flour has got lots of gluten in it because it's made from wheat, and wheat has got gluten in it. But, as Lynda says, some people can't have gluten because it gives them a sore tummy. So, rice can be made into...
And my dad and my brother can have gluten stuff.
That's right. We've got a family at preschool that can't. Your mummy
Some
and your
people,
daddy.
mummy and daddy, some people can and some people can't. But,
I
luckily, flour can be made from rice as well, and this here is really slippery, it's really smooth. This is my rice flour. It looks like normal flour, doesn't it? But it's made with rice ground up.
Very, very fine.
Very fine. So we can make rice flour. It's quite slippery.
And it works the same as ordinary
It does.
flour.
You just make it in a cake and the bread, things like that. Got some other things behind here.
Bread.
Now, do you know what these are?
What packets?
Yes, they're rice crackers. You know about these too. These are rice crackers, obviously made of rice when it's been cooked and puffed up.
Well, actually, Marianne, look, when Lynda got them out of the my packet,
Oh, they all fell apart.
you can actually see the little parts of rice. That you can see
Yeah.
all the rice that's been put together,
It's all
and
stuck
when
together.
it crumbles into lots
Wonder what
of
they
little...
stick it together with.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out.
It would be. So that's a rice cracker made of lots of rice all puffed up.
Yummy.
And I hear these are really good for you too.
They are, because again they're made of that excellent
I
healthy
eat rice.
rice.
Yeah.
Gluten free.
Yeah, and they're gluten free
Yep.
as well. which is
And
really
you can
handy.
buy rice crackers that are made with white rice.
Yeah.
And you can buy rice crackers that are made with
Rice.
The whole grain
whole
ones.
grain
Yeah,
rice.
that's amazing.
Yes.
So the whole grain ones
special.
would be a bit better for you.
Well,
wouldn't
because they have this little.
they? Yeah, the germ and the rice bran.
So that's an idea for lunch.
Rice crackers are really
I
yummy.
eat those for
I love them
lunch.
with avocado on them.
Delicious.
It's very good for you too.
Mm.
So that's a rice cracker. We've got rice flour. I bought these in.
Noodles.
Yeah. And these are rice noodles.
Again,
Again, if you're
some people
gluten
can't
free,
have flour, the
gluten.
ordinary noodles made of flour.
that's right.
They can have these.
And these
And
ones are,
I
you can have rice noodles.
You would have those at your house.
Pretty cool.
can have only rice ones.
You can have those.
Yeah.
They haven't got
Absolutely. These are made directly from rice as well. It's really cool. And then we've got one more thing. I bet you know what these are. Can you see those?
What?
Who knows what these are?
Cereal.
Yeah, they're cereal. These are called rice bubbles. Rice bubbles.
Rices.
Yeah, some people call them
I have
rices.
those at my house.
Sometimes people put chocolate on in their Cocoa Pops, don't they?
Well, Philo bought those especially from her house to show us.
And they're called
And
rice.
they're just rice bowls, I think, aren't
And
they?
they're just rice that's been puffed up, aren't they?
This is what bubbles. Cocoa Puffs is not the dairy.
They're not as good for your Cocoa Pops, are they? But they're very nice, I'm sure. So these are rice
And
bubbles.
Well, what Otis is telling us all is there's lots of cereals like gluten and porridge, oats, and rice bubbles. But rice bubble really comes from rice, which is a grain too.
Yeah.
So they're all grains, aren't they?
That's
we have
right.
for our breakfast. Not all people have grains for their breakfast. Some
No.
people have egg, and
That's
some
right.
people have salad.
But lots of people have rices and other cereals, don't they, with milk and
But the rice ones don't have that gluten, and
No.
they are good if they're whole grain and they have that little bit there
they've got
and
the rice
and
germ
the
and the
rice
rice bran.
bran around it.
Makes
so
them
that's
really healthy. So
interesting,
these are
isn't
good for you. Quite neat, aren't they?
it? All right.
So lots of things made from rice. Not just rice, but other things like noodles and crackers and flour and breakfast cereals.
Absolutely,
Wow.
and there is even rice bran oil that you can
Yes,
cook with.
yes, even oil.
Mm.
Yep, that's
And
right.
that's very, very good for you too.
True.
So, all these wonderful things that we're finding out about and we didn't even
All
know.
made of rice.
All made of rice.
Wow.
Well, I thought we could find out how do we get rice in our shops to buy. Where does it come from?
The fun.
Does it come from farmers in our country?
No.
No, it doesn't actually.
The sumac.
It's in the supermarket, but most of our rice comes from Australia or somewhere in Asia, comes on a big plane in big sacks, and then it goes to a place in New Zealand, a factory, and they put it into little packets for us. So yes, rice, it's really interesting because it's grown all over the world. Well, so we get this farmer, he might be living in Australia,
Yeah.
or he might be living in
Maybe in China.
China or India. But the thing about rice, where it is grown, there has to be lots and lots. I wonder if you can think of what they need for these rice plants to grow.
Rain.
Lots and lots of rain,
of rain.
lots of water, and it needs to be warm and hot too.
Sun.
And lots of
So that's a
sunshine.
very good mixture, just like we sing about in the song.
That's right.
It's sunny outside.
Yes, it's beautiful and sunny at our preschool today. I'm sure it's sunny at home too. The farmer plants the seeds, the farmer plants the seeds. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer plants the seeds. Oh, I can see people planting their seeds. The sun comes out to shine, the sun comes out to shine. Hi ho the dairy-o, the sun comes out to shine. And most importantly, the rain begins to fall, the rain begins to fall. Hi ho the dairy-o, the rain begins to fall. The rice begins to grow, the rice begins to grow. Hi ho the dairy-o, the rice begins to grow. The rice is ready for picking, the rice is ready for picking. Hi ho the dairy-o, the rice is ready for picking. And when it's ready, Marianne, the rice is almost to the ceiling. It's as big as you,
So
Marianne, and a
tall.
bit more, 2 meters high.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
They
And
have to
then-
reach right up,
Oh,
don't
they actually slash the bottom with a big slasher.
they? Knock it down.
That's in some countries, but in some countries they have these enormous machines which we're going to look at. Perhaps we'll look at those tomorrow. It's
That sounds
really
neat.
interesting.
Wow.
The farmer picks the rice, the farmer picks the rice. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer picks the rice. And then we can the delicious rice.
That's so neat.
Okay, so I'll give that back to my lovely Marianne.
Okay.
And I'm going to come up close because I'm going to show pictures as I read it to so that Philo can see it with her camera and you people at home can see it too. So, now there is a beautiful bowl of rice. I'll just show it to all the boys and girls. And the words say, more people eat rice than any other food in the world. It is nutritious, which means it's so good for you. It gives you energy and it fills up your tummy. Rice is also very cheap and lots of rice grow. So when you have one rice plant, you have hundreds and hundreds of little
Wow.
rice. It says a bowl of rice makes up a large part of the meal in many Asian countries.
I hate white rice for something I had white rice for my dinner.
Now there's a little boy and I'll just show the boys and girls at home. And then I'll show all you people, look. And it says, in Asia, people usually eat rice 2 or 3 times a day, so they even have it for breakfast. Rice is often a large part of a meal. In some Asian languages, the word for rice and the word for food are exactly the same word. For example, in Chinese, Eric, you should know about this, the word for food and rice is fan. Is that what your mummy says at home? She does. In other Asian languages, the same word means eat or eat rice.
Wow.
Now, do you know that rice began long ago in a country called China? There were lots of floods there, and when the floods ended, the people came down from the mountain, and the floods had destroyed all the plants, and there was no food for the people. A little dog suddenly appeared and brought yellow seeds. The people planted the seeds and the rice grew, and the people were never hungry again because they had lots of rice. Isn't that an amazing story? Now look, I think Marianne must have looked at this page because it says around the world people eat rice in many dishes. They eat rice in soups, in salads and desserts. Have any of you boys and girls at home or any of the boys and girls here had rice pudding?
Yeah.
I haven't had it.
I think rice pudding would be one of my favourite puddings.
With all your favorite stuff.
And it has all your favourite and my favourite. It has sugar and I put lovely fruit in with my desserts too. Other foods are made from rice, and it is used to make food such as Marianne showed us. What were those that Marianne showed us? She showed us those. What are those called?
Noodles.
Yep, noodles. Then, what are these that Lynda showed you? Show the boys and girls there too. And there's, that's rice vinegar. No, we didn't think of that, did we, Marianne? And remember Thillo, what did she bring from her house?
Rice balloons.
Yes. And these are little rice chips. And those are rice snacks, and those are absolutely delicious, and they come in bags, and there's all sorts of, sometimes they put nuts and seeds in as well. It's so yummy. Now I wanted to show you this picture because this is the most amazing picture. Remember how Lynda said they plant the rice seeds in fields with a lot of those fields are covered in water. No one really knows for sure when people began to grow rice, but some scientists, those are people that really study hard. We've got some scientists at preschool, haven't we, Marianne, that really listen and experiment and make up hypotheses. Some scientists believe people in India began growing rice for food over 6,000 years ago.
Wow,
That's a long time. Today, farmers all over the world grow rice. Rice is the #1 food crop grown in the world. And that's what we were talking about at the beginning. All those places. We were just looking at a globe a little while ago, but most of the places on the globe actually grow rice. Rice grows best in areas that are wet and very
Sunny.
warm. During the growing season, temperatures should be at least 20 degrees, which is exactly the degree it is today.
That's amazing.
20 degrees at our preschool. Rice grows best when it's on really low land with little river valleys that can be easily flooded because the rice plants like lots of
Water.
But rice can also grow on the highlands if they get lots of rain.
I can't see.
Oh, I'll just show you a little bit better here. There we go. Eric, do you want to have a little look there? And the boys and girls at home, there are the lands, those are the countries that grow mostly, and we call that Asia. And look, there's the fields, and they've got a special name. I wonder what they call those fields. We might have to find. Could be. We'll have to wait for tomorrow and see what happens. Okay, so isn't it so interesting?
That's neat, isn't
It is. It's really lovely, isn't it, Marianne?
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak back here because, boys and girls, tomorrow we're going to be reading a little bit more from this very interesting book about rice. Who would think that it could be so interesting?
I know. And maybe some of the mums and dads know what those fields are called.
Oh, yes. Ask Mummy at home or Daddy. They've got a funny name.
Yeah, it's quite cool, really.
Starts with a P.
Ha.
Tricky. See if you guys at preschool.
You'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Absolutely. Okay, my sweethearts, tomorrow we might be looking at some other grains.
We could be.
And Marianne's got so many different grains in her house. So she's brought them all in a big bag.
Yeah,
So I
we've
can't
got
wait
lots
to
to
see
look
them.
at. Lots and lots.
And we might have the rest of our story. Until then, my sweethearts, look after Mummy and Daddy.
Take care. Keep
Lots
you
of
safe.
love.
Bye-bye.